So, kicking off this week, I know, not much has happened. And actually, you know what? Before I get into that, sorry, I'm going to correct myself. Uh, we do not have Dreamer with us again today. Uh, I did actually get to talk to him for a minute, and he said that he was okay with it being more openly shared. He is in Hawaii. And for those of you that may have not been keeping up, Hawaii got hit really, really bad with some hurricane winds and led to some fires. It's been pretty bad. So that's why he's been not in our AMAs the last few weeks. Is he's had some power issues. Well, he has no power, I guess, is the issue. Obviously that links to internet as well. So he is doing as well as can be. He is all right. We do have some contact with him, but yeah, they're still trying to get back to being connected. So just wanted to share that because I know this is, I think, the third AMA that we will not have Dreamer with us. Wanted to make sure everybody knew he is okay. He's still, still here, but working through those issues, and it's pretty ugly in Hawaii right now. So best wishes to everyone that's there, and hopefully they can get started on some restoral soon. But yeah, other go ahead, Fox.
Yeah, no, I just also want to share that he actually was able to get some solar thing going, and I think he got Starlink and stuff, and able to still be working, like as much as he can, which is great. And I think we had a lot of him this week, especially once those things have been in place, but not in the AMA today, unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely. Our Discord takes a lot of internet to load, but yeah, definitely on the path to being back in our AMAs, but hopefully they keep doing well over there. Um, Outside of that, in the realm of DFK and in the kingdoms, uh, I know not a whole lot happened this week, and we didn't talk about a whole lot of things, but I thought we'd take a few minutes and recap some of those things that we did talk about. So we had our birthday 2 days ago, our 2-year DFK birthday, and we made a few announcements on our birthday. And so, for those of you that missed it, that is what all of the black circles were about. It was in the lead up to us releasing the trailer for our Void Hunt Mad Boars, which is our first PVE experience that we'll be releasing here shortly. And on that, I wanted to give a moment for really anybody and everybody who wants to weigh in to weigh in. But I thought we might start it off with Hubert.
Alrighty, hey guys. Yeah, it was really exciting to get that announcement out. I know we were being real quiet about it, and it was kind of funny to see everyone speculate on what all the black holes were and whatnot. Some people got pretty close to guessing it right, but others were thinking very different things. Yeah, it was a fun little exercise of keeping secrets and then being able to reveal it all at once. Really excited for the upcoming Void Hunt feature. It's something that we plan to have kind of being a regular component of the game moving forward, though it will definitely evolve as we add more components to the combat system that are missing, like potions and all the other classes and subclass functionality, things like that. So this is just our first iteration of that. We just kind of figured that we could do it, even though the combat system is not all the way complete, and there will be balancing differences and whatnot that we'll have to deal with. But didn't really see a reason to hold back from giving you guys something to play while we get the rest of those things put in. So I hope you are all excited for that, and we're looking forward to see you guys all start hunting down some boars. And along with this, we did also include the design for equipment, and are including the ability to equip basically anything in any slot except for the secondary equipment slots for weapons. Those won't be functional quite yet, so I think we're going to disable the ability to equip to those for now. But otherwise, I guess, yeah, whatever equipment that we will have available will be equipable. And this will also include the amulets that have been long fabled and much mentioned in the past, and they are finally coming. And I guess along with those amulets, I did want to mention that our plan with them is for them to not be like a regularly dropped item or something that we give out in the future. Though not to say that it's completely impossible that a certain event might give a few more out. But in general, future equipment that you can get would be something different. So these will be fairly unique items, but they'll still be treated like equipment, like anything else. Along with that, we did make a design decision as well, just to help reduce the complexity and the amount of work that was required to design equipment and get it all implemented, which was to eliminate uncommon and legendary tiers of equipment. So there would be just common, rare, and mythic, which with the contest we did before, we had rare, legendary, and mythic amulets that we were awarding. So what we're going to be doing for the legendaries there is treating them like they're mythic amulets instead. But they'll be a different mythic amulet than the original mythics, and they'll be, in my opinion, less effective than the original mythic. Like, I think the original mythic's going to be the best of the amulets, in my opinion, but they all do different things. So I think in some situations someone might even find the rare amulet to be more useful. So yeah, so there's, I guess, some extra details on that. And let's see, was there anything that I'm missing? I guess also we're still chugging along with everything else. Scholar has been coming together nicely. There's just a couple last minute things on that we're adjusting, but for the most part, it's shaping up pretty nicely, and I'm liking how it's looking. So you guys can look forward to seeing the skill codex for Scholar in the coming weeks. So I think that is all for me at the moment. But Bolin, if I forgot anything, please let me know. Thanks.
Awesome. I think you hit everything that I was anticipating. I do appreciate it, and appreciate the added detail and background there as well. I'm sure some folks will have fun with that information too. Beetle Dude?
Well, I might call Magnus up first if he's okay with that, because I don't want to steal his thunder too much. Magnus,
Sure thing.
you mind?
Yep, Hubert
Thanks.
teed me up to talk about the design stuff. I'm stoked to be working on these contracts, especially the Void Hunt and the equipment contracts. There's some accessory stuff to that as well, but I think my previous two favorite contracts were the Perilous Journey and Dark Summoning, but I'd say this is cooler than Burning Heroes, as cool as that is. So hats off to Hubert and Zipper. They put together a really complex and very expansive design for minting equipment while keeping the on-chain storage space down to like 4 storage slots. So we're packing a lot of data in there and trying to balance future expandability with keeping storage and gas low. So never an exciting time in the blockchain world, but overall, just I'm really excited about these particular contracts and what we're doing with Void Hunts, and also the integrations that Pinecone has made with off-chain executor. And then I won't go into Beetle's piece. I don't want to steal his thunder, but it's just really cool how we're integrating all this with the blockchain and kind of like a live game that happens in your browser. So just a really cool experience to work on.
Before Beetle goes, sorry to interrupt. Magnus, anything that you want to add in terms of community builders that might be useful for them?
Oh yeah, I did want to mention that instead of doing like one monolithic equipment contract, we're going to split them up into multiple different ones. We're going to be launching with 3. There will probably be some others down the line, or could be. But yeah, just keep an eye out for that. If you're going to be indexing these or storing the data, as they will be coming from 3 different places. But other than that, more or less similar to how Pet Core and Hero Core works. But just wanted to give some advance notice on that.
Beetle Dude.
All right, who else can I pass this off to? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, thanks, guys. You guys are really doing the groundwork, and we're kind of taking it from there. But on my side and on the kind of application side of things, we're working hard on the combat engine itself, adding in some mechanics that haven't been there previously, some mechanics that aren't functioning quite the way we want them to, and some just some additional ones that will be added, as well as looking at the equipment bonuses. That'll be a big part of what we need to implement as well, because the combat engine will need to be aware of what equipment is attached to your heroes and apply that wherever it makes sense. But yeah, I guess I just want to echo what Magnus was saying. It's super exciting that we're getting to a point where once this feature is done, we will essentially have a path to start, stop, cancel, retry, whatever combat or PvE scenarios, all kinds of things, where we'll also be able to reward players for what they're doing. So as far as I know, this is, I haven't heard of anything else like this. I'm super excited about it. This gets us one big step forward on our kind of path to making a game that is also blockchain enabled. So super excited about that. It's got a lot of implications for the future. Equipment obviously is going to be amazing, and again, just getting the systems in place is going to open up the door to a ton of additional items in the future, and just make new equipment that much easier to create. Obviously, we'll probably be doing a little bit of a start and stop, making sure that everything looks good and works the way we want it to, before making a whole bunch of new equipment. But the name of the game is going to be balancing, and we're pretty committed to making sure that the game feels good and is balanced. So yeah, I'm just really excited about this. I am a PvE maxi all the way, so this is my jam, and I'm excited about it, and I'm excited to fight some boars, and I will. And that's it.
Nice. PvE is the superior mode, without a doubt. But yeah, fully agree. Fox, anything you want to add?
Something for the unmute button. Yeah, let's see. I guess just as far as things we're working on, we launched Duels last week. It's been just over a week now, I think, since we launched it, which is surprising to me because I could have sworn it's been 2 weeks, but apparently it's been a week. I don't know. Maybe it has been 2 weeks. I think it's been a week. But that went really well, and it seemed like it was very well received. Everyone liked the new features. Heard a lot of really good feedback on that. And it's also really cool to see how it impacts just like the activity and like interactions with like the contracts, and that's really cool to see. And it's also just really fun, just like to see who's the current champion, hear them, like over in like chat saying "come at me, bro" and stuff like that. That's fun. And also, it's been a relatively very smooth launch. Even though we added this really complex new feature, there hasn't really been any major issues that I've heard, which is nice. There's like usually something with matchmaking or who knows what, or like stuck duels or stuff like that. But I haven't really heard much of that, if any. So that's really exciting as well. gears from duels for a bit to try to focus more on expeditions. So that's a thing, and I don't think I'm spoiling much by saying expeditions, right? We've announced that before. It's hard to keep track sometimes, but that's really fun, and I'm excited for that feature. I think it's going to be really, literally a game changer, and I'm stoked about it. So that's mostly me. I also had sort of a spiel I wanted to do about it being 20 years since we launched, or perhaps I just aged 20 years. I don't know. But I don't know if you want to do that now or later. So your call, Volan.
Let's circle back to that in just a moment, actually. That would be good. Sunbear, anything you want to add?
I don't really have any specific announcements or anything today. Just continuing with a lot of momentum with relationships with various partners and chains. Things I'm really excited about that can't quite share yet. Things we're getting closer on. So, and I just wanted to say, like, I love selling DFK. It's crazy. Even today, when I was talking to one of our potential partners, they hadn't really played in about a year, and to bring the game up and just show them the features and what's happened with the entire game and the direction and everything, their eyes get huge, and they just can't believe, especially how much we've built in the bear market. So excited to be here, excited to fight some boars and to celebrate 2 years and be a part of this effort today.
Appreciate it. Real quick before we circle back to Fox, if you were hiding under a rock on Tuesday and ignoring all of our at everyone pings, you should really check out the announcements channel. There's a lot of good stuff in there, but that does include both the Void Hunt trailer and a Medium article about Void Hunts. There is also, excuse me, there's also a Gen Zero giveaway courtesy of Frisky Fox, currently ongoing on Twitter. The details are also in the announcements channel as well as on Twitter, obviously. But then also our leveling event, which I don't think we've talked about yet. So I just wanted to touch on that for a moment, and then we can circle back to Fox and anybody that wants to add anything else. But again, check announcements. There's a Medium article on with all the details for the leveling event. But essentially, level your heroes, get entries into a drawing is more or less the TLDR. The higher the level that your hero is going to, the more entries it gets you. But we're really excited for that. We've been looking forward to doing a leveling event for a little bit, and the birthday seemed like the perfect time to do it. Also helping get your heroes ready for the boar hunts. And then it also has as Hubert mentioned earlier, it does have a chance to win those amulets again. We wanted to make sure that, it's been a while since that snapshot was taken. We wanted to make sure that our current players had a chance to win some of them as well. So we did add 20% of the original airdrop. We added to this leveling event as well. So if you're missing any of those things, go check the announcements channel. There's a ton of good information in there. Really always check it, but especially right now, there's a lot of cool stuff in there. Back to you, Fox.
Okay. I'm trying to transition devices here, but give me a second. Okay, I'll just do it on my phone. Yeah, so let me gather my thoughts again. It's been 2 years, and I really can't believe it. It just flies by so fast. But it's just been really, really cool to just over the past few days and like week just kind of look back and reflect on all of the things that we've done and all the things we've built. It's nuts. From just like I think it was Tuesday, 2 years ago Tuesday, I was over in the downstairs of like Dreamer's house because we were all kind of over there gathered around. Me and Pieface and Admiral and some others, and somewhere in like Florida, and we held our breath and launched it, hit the button, and it was just kind of a whirlwind since then. It's really cool to be that team that's actually building things
that are meant for the long term here in this space. I see so many projects that just like flare up and then they kind of burn out and just go away and close up shop, and that's not this. That's not our intention at the start or now or ever. And we want to continue to build. We've built, probably about 15% of this game, 1.5. We've got a lot ahead of us, like, to build. And I'm just really proud of the team and the effort and the blood, sweat, and tears that's been poured into this, and not just our team, but the community and the probably thousands of hours of like content and tools that have been built, and just all of the stuff that's been put out there from everyone. It just really blows my mind to see all of that done. And just as like we look back over the 2 years, there's been so many achievements and successes. We've shattered all kinds of records with like transactions and TVL and bridged volume and all kinds of stuff there. But even like more than those, like we've had really cool collaborations with like charities for like the Philippines and elsewhere. There's been awesome events, and like having the opportunity to speak to and to meet so many of you out there, and all of the people all over the world. It's just amazing to see. Also, we've overcome a lot of challenges. Our path wasn't always smooth. It isn't ever smooth in this space. There's always something. There's a lot of things that are very like unique to the crypto space. Like there's bear markets that drag on. There's FUD. There's trolls, and there's whales and all kinds of stuff. But through it all, we've always overcome, and we always will. And it's really cool to see the grit that the team and the community has. And so it's just emerging stronger and stronger every time. So that's something I'm also really proud of from everyone. So kudos. And yeah, as I said, we've only built about 50% of the game. We have a ton in the future. There's a bright horizon ahead. We're on the verge of like unveiling a lot more things with like PvE and combat. The stuff that's been sort of like already mentioned here, and then equipment and crafting, expeditions, stuff for lands, on ramps, streamlined onboarding, sort of like lowering the barrier of like entry, and then just all the amazing like third party collaborations that we do with other partners. There's really amazing other projects and teams out there that are like anxious and like willing to work with us. And so that's always exciting to sort of like work as a whole towards common goals that like we all hold. So yeah, really stoked to have been here and to still be here, and feeling blessed and proud of our team, and also very grateful to all of you here in the community. And I just want to say thank you, and excited for the future. So on to the questions. Over to you, Bolon.
Awesome. Thank you, Fox. And yes, very much excited. Last call for any updates before we hit some questions. Anything we missed? All right. So, first question. I will say up front, obviously, we had a little bit of a longer update today, which was intentional because it's a fantastic week for us, and we wanted to celebrate it with all of you. So, as always, if we don't get all of the questions today, we will just take them next week. Your questions don't go anywhere, but we might not hit every question that we have today, and that's fine. So, the first question / task goes to Beetle Dude. And it is curious if it would be possible to have players that are signed up immediately prompted to log in versus those that are not signed up yet having the new walletless experience.
Thank you, Bolon. I wouldn't have it any other way than tasks upon tasks. No, that's a good question. I think by the very virtue of being signed out, we don't really have access to whether that person had signed in previously necessarily. I will say say that we have some things in the works to just make it a little bit more obvious that you, like, I don't know, my MetaMask signs out after whatever, an hour or something, and sometimes it's hard to tell that it's done that, so I get where you're coming from. We are working on things like tutorial flows that could include something along those lines. Like maybe if you get signed out, it will pop up a screen that will prompt you to log back in that you could close out of if you want to. So we are actively working on making kind of the whole experience and flow of having a wallet, not having a wallet, flow a little bit better. It might not include that exact flow, but I think we could get to a point where it would make sense and make it easier to tell when you've been logged out and maybe weren't aware of it. So yeah, good question. I think some of the things we're working on now will hopefully address that issue that you're running into.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, but some of that friction could also be removed by Holiday, correct? With session keys?
Yes, yeah. So we are also, that's another piece. That is one of the pieces that I was alluding to, but I guess we can talk about it. I'm never sure what we can talk about exactly. But yeah, the holiday wallets will be a big thing that's gonna change. That could change a lot and improve a lot with the flow that we have. But I guess for folks that are still using traditional wallets like MetaMask, we could accommodate them with other ways as well. So yeah, good question, good prompting as well, Bolon.
Anytime.
Yes.
Let's see. Next question goes to the Frisky Fox on duels. Let's supercharge duels. Duels had a huge upgrade this season, but could be some tweaks. Thoughts on having duels fees increased? I'm going to give the numbers in the question, but also just in general. Duels fees being increased across the board by 10x, and the champion percentage payout increased from 5% to 25%.
Yeah, so I like the spirit of the question. It's, like upping the stakes a little bit, having it be more fun. There's things to consider though, because there is a delicate balance between like the raffle and like the prizes that are won there. That's a big part of the like the profitability of like that duels like mini feature that a lot of people will try to calculate. So it could impact those things, and if we aren't careful, it could set them off balance. So I think it's a good thing to bring to the tokenomics committee and see like what can we do, what should we do, what would increase the engagement, because really that's our main goal with this, is to have more engagement and like playing and like fun as well. And so if something like that would increase that, then it's for sure something we'll look at and probably implement as an experiment and see, like last season it was this, how did that impact it? Let's try this and see how that impacts it. And it's sort of like A/B testing in a way to see what is the best sweet spot for those to be at. But yeah, I think it's a good question. Just a lot of potential like ramifications to think about.
Nice. Thank you, sir. Let's see. Can we get an update on combat progress, skill updates, advanced class skills, current state of combat? That was submitted before Tuesday, in fairness, but we also touched a little bit on that earlier. Obviously, void hunts. Hubert mentioned the scholar skill tree or skill list codex. That one, skill codex. But I will pause. Hubert, anything you want to add there, or Beetle, or Magnus, or anybody else? I guess.
Yeah, I think the void hunts probably gives a good sense of what we've been working on. So I think we're making good progress. It is a lot of work, and we still have a lot more to go. But yeah, void hunts right now are our focus is getting that out, and then from there we have, just need to keep hammering away at getting more and more features added to the system. So I think we're pretty close to getting another class or two added, and then there's all the various mechanics that have been mentioned up to this point that are still not there too. So just as just as a matter of time before we get each one of those things out. So yeah, that's all I got.
Yep, I will say that I think the Void Hunts already are introducing new things on the developer side, like testing and balancing systems that we're going to use going forward. So I think just the Void Hunts is going to be a great vertical slice of combat that we can use to continue forward and make good progress. So. But yeah, like you said, that question came a little early, maybe, and so we're definitely making progress in areas that are going to count.
Nice. Which actually, I'm going to add my own question while we are talking about this and on this topic. Void Hunt, Mad Boars. I'm going to put y'all on the spot here because I didn't remember to ask this before, but I'm going to do it anyway. What are we currently thinking in terms of the time of availability of the Mad Boars Hunt? Not when will it be released, but how long will it be available?
Good question. So yeah, it will be available for a little while. I'd say at least a month. And kind of the idea with Void Hunts is eventually, once we have a bunch of different options, they would kind of be on a kind of cycle where some would be available at some times. Some might only show up if certain conditions are met, or just very rarely. But eventually getting to a point where there will be some Void Hunts that are available sometimes, and maybe there will always be at least one Void Hunt available, but the Boar Hunt will eventually make its way into kind of the not active state. And I think one thing about the Boar Hunt in particular is that it's balanced around there not being subclass abilities, balanced around heroes not having equipment yet, though they will be able to get equipment and use it, and also let's see, balance on there not being potions available. So the Boar Hunt in particular, I think the current form of it will not stay for too much longer once we get those other components in place, and we'd have to rebalance it at that point. But yeah, that's kind of the general idea for Void Hunts in general. But there will also be, we do have plans for other forms of PvE that will work in different ways. So
I appreciate it. Sorry to put you on the spot there, but I had seen people chatting about it, and I thought it was a good time to bring it up. So, moving on from my own question back to community questions. A PvE NPC idea. Druids are very integral to the DFK ecosystem and woven deeply into the lore. Any thoughts on having... Any thoughts on having a PvE enemy that is a corrupt druid and name him Sven T2?
Consider it done. Wait, is this a list item? Did you just add another thing to my list without?
You didn't even notice, did you?
Dang it.
All right, let's see here. Hubert, we are dying to know what type of effect equipping one of the amulets to a hero will do. Without spoiling the details, can you give any hint as to the general type of effect/buff the new amulets will have?
Well, you know how much I love to keep my secrets. I guess the hint I'll give is that the names of the amulets are kind of tied to the bonuses in some ways. So you can maybe take that as you will, and maybe you'll guess right on some of them. But Otherwise, yeah, we're gonna wait until we have those out so you can see the bonuses when they're available. And I don't know if you meant to unmute Bolon, but I was done.
He's prompting you to keep talking. Just kidding. Wait.
Oh, y'all hear me?
A little bit.
It's pretty robotic.
Dang it. My internet just died on me, so I'm trying to restart it real quick.
Got it. You're not sounding too bad.
I could show people a magic trick.
Do it.
All right.
I mean, people are going to say yes.
See this? Okay, that's it. Bye-bye.
That will be available as a gift by the end of this AMA. I am confident in it.
The best dad magic trick in the book.
All right, let's see. While I refine my place, I'm going to go a little bit out of order because I know there's a out there. Will hunts be available on mobile?
All right. I heard what you said, and I'll repeat it because you were a little bit robot-y, but that's okay. So the question was, will hunts be available on mobile? The answer is I'm not 100% sure yet, and we'll have to see. The goal will be to have it available on mobile, but there are quite a few items to get to, so that might be one that waits a little bit longer. I guess I'll just say that there's additional thinking that needs to be there. Part of our hope in the long term is that we'll be able to kind of break free from the MetaMask mobile browser or similar browsers that we're kind of stuck in currently. We're hoping with Holiday that we might be able to make that viable. So that would change pretty heavily that we handle mobile for combat, because we could make it an additional landscape view that with hopefully larger UIs. But as it stands right now, we're stuck with the kind of vertical spacing, which is pretty limiting on screen space. So anyway, those are just some of the considerations, I guess, with the mobile features. But it's definitely something that we're hoping to prioritize and get out as soon as we can. So thank you.
Awesome. I appreciate it. I'm hoping that y'all can hear me. All right. Please understand. Let's see. So next question is, would we consider letting Discord know when a team member will be participating in an interview or live stream? Yes, that's on me. I forgot to mention that Fox was going on Mythic Squad last week. But yes, that is absolutely fair, and I will try to make sure that we feed those into Discord as well. Let's see. Thoughts on showing in the gardens an average APR estimate based on historical data of the fees. So not the emissions APR, which is what we show currently, but the APR from the fees that come in from trades.
Yeah, that would be pretty tricky to implement. I think if it's just showing like the APR from the fees only, and I guess we're not doing any additional logic on the blockchain. It's mostly a data gathering process, but there would be quite a lot that would have to be involved, a lot of data collection and whatnot. I'm not sure that we have really. It'd be hard to kind of prioritize that over the other things we're working on right now. It'd be quite a bit of work, I think.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's see. So, please read this with the understanding that I know things take time, and I am not looking for a quick turnaround. Thoughts on having a set of limited edition pets, to where there would be a cap on the number of them that could be found.
Yeah, that's certainly possible. We don't have that in right now, but I think maybe in future seasons we can consider doing something like that, where some pets may have a limit on how many can be minted, and then once that has been reached, it just it would skip past that option when it's minting or choosing the type of pet that gets hatched. So yeah, certainly possible, an interesting idea, but yeah. That would be like for the next season, which is going to be quite a ways out, I think. So
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Let's see. When PvP launches, does the team have plans to help create a dedicated Twitch channel which will group together videos of DFK content? Absolutely. I think we'll actually start to see some of that, potentially even with void hunts. But we love our streamers, as I hope they all already know. And content streaming for like PvE and PvP is also super crucial. So we definitely plan on supporting that and doing a few different things to try to support it. Which, if you have any ideas, feel free to hit me up. I am open to any and all of it. But yeah, definitely planning on putting in some work on that front. Let's see. Question from Monday night. What's up with the black hole? I think you know now. If you don't, you should. It's the void. All right. Excuse me. Is the DFK team considering the long-term implementation of a DFK stablecoin? For example, when trading items like in the bazaar using a DFK stablecoin.
I just sort of wonder what the benefits of using a DFK specific one versus like USDC would be, because I can't think of any right now, and I don't want to make an algorithmic stablecoin because we've all seen what a crazy history those can have. Really, I mean, for the bazaar, for example, we could create new bases and sort of have like order books for USDC, for example, so that you could trade and buy things in USDC. And that might be something we do as a part of like an outpost strategy on other chains, or could be something that we bring back to DFK chain as well, to just have more options. Really, it's it's sort of a balancing act between the more bases you have, the more you're splintering your liquidity, and sort of like the more you're like requiring other users to hold those tokens to be able to trade in them. So it's one of those things that we sort of wanted to start with one and see how that goes and then expand from there.
Yeah, we
I
got
can hear you,
We
Bolon.
can hear you.
I can't hear him, so I'll see if I can exit and come back. Sorry if I interrupted you.
I also can't hear him. It's one of those times. Love Discord. I guess I'll try that too.
I'm back, but I still can't hear you, Bolon.
How about now?
Hey, now I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. It was me that needed to leave and come back.
I can't hear you. Just kidding, I can.
Gotta love Discord. We appreciate y'all. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but we're back. So where were we? Let's see. There we are. There we are. So Beetle Dude, you know what's coming.
Oh no! Oh god!
I'll add this to your list afterwards, but thoughts on having a filter in the My Pets tab for equipped and not equipped?
Yes, I feel like I think we might have. This might have been a task that might be on my list already.
It might be. I'll check your list for you.
Let it die. Is take it straight from the question to my list.
I'll control F your list in about 4 hours. It'll finish searching it.
Control F, backspace, enter.
Right. Let's see. I think this one will primarily be a Hubert question. Thoughts on, instead of only having Archer, Knight, and Priest be able to use skills for the for Void Hunts, thoughts on categorizing other classes according to what fits best and let them take advantage of those skill trees temporarily?
Um, yeah, well, I guess while that's kind of possible, I could see that being a nightmare for balancing purposes. And it probably would be a lot of work for Beetle as well to kind of implement that. So I'm thinking, probably not. And unfortunately, that does mean some heroes are not going to be as useful as others during the Void Hunt. That's just kind of, we're going to have to. It was one of the decisions we had to make when we even considered doing Void Hunts at this time. We realized that there are not very many classes implemented yet. We do have 2 more that are getting very close to being ready, and I think as we move forward, our ability to implement classes gets better just as through experience and having done it multiple times. But yeah, the way that we're planning to do the rollout of Void Hunts and just any PvE content right now is it will be in the state of the combat system at the moment. So there will be, it's going to be kind of an evolving thing over time. And yeah, I think for the best results right now, you'd want to stick to classes that do have skills available. Though you're definitely welcome to try with other classes, and maybe you'll be able to succeed with a combination of some that do have skills and some that don't. But I do think the skills are going to be pretty important to actually get through the battle.
So you're saying that my plan of going in with 3 level 1 monks is not a good plan?
I mean, you can try it. It might be entertaining for a few seconds, but
For a few seconds. I can't even get minutes. Dang.
I don't think they would survive very long now. Have you seen those HP values?
Yeah, you're not wrong. Which actually, that does bring up a topic that we've discussed in Discord, but I don't think we fully covered in the Medium article and haven't hit live. So I'm going to ask the power of the boars, the boar power, if you would. How does that work?
The boar power. You mean just in terms of like how hard it hits, kind of thing, or?
Yeah, like what's the level of difficulty? The the based on average level system, basically.
Yeah. So the boars were designed. The base level of them is expecting to be fighting level 10 heroes, and then they do scale up in strength and HP and everything else as the average level of the party increases. And I guess as far as like how they were designed, I mean, they were built to be pretty, especially the big boars is a pretty heavy hitter. And we have a bunch of fun little mechanics that we're adding in terms of their behavior that I'm excited to see, you guys contend with. the design in general does follow the same design approach as heroes. So they have the same kind of stats and whatnot. It's just that we set the values for those. They technically have weapons and armor that we have assigned to them, but again, that's something that's not weapons or armor that anyone else can use. It's just how we treat the system. Like PvE enemies are considered a hero just in terms of how it's implemented, but very much different in other regards. I don't know if that answers the question very well, but hopefully that helps.
So just to clarify, I guess, so the boars have the base toughness of the challenge, or of the hunt, is based on an average party level of 10. The boars do scale up if the average power level is higher, or the average level of the heroes is higher, but it does not scale down.
That's right. Yep. So, you're definitely welcome to try with lower level heroes if you want, and if you're able to succeed, we're thinking of different ways that we can look at, certain achievements, like the first, maybe the first person group of people that beat it with all level 9 heroes and things like that. Looking to see who gets to be the first of various things that's of interest to us. So. Yeah, definitely welcome to try. We'll note that at level 9, you only have access to up to the tier 3 skills. So there is kind of a definite jump in ability once you go from 9 to 10. But yeah, give it a go if you want to. I expect some in our community is very interested in doing that. I can see his name on the chat right now, but I guess we'll see.
Can't imagine who that would be.
I wonder.
But yeah, no, I appreciate it. I just that's I think good for everybody to be able to prepare their heroes, which, as I mentioned earlier, might be part of why we're having a leveling event. But yeah, I'm super excited for that. I said to Beetle earlier that PvE is my favorite, but I also really enjoy going into PvE experiences with strongly underpowered heroes or characters or whatever, and just seeing how far I can get. It's entertaining. So, looking forward to that very, very much. We are going to stop there for this week. I know that there's a few questions that came in. It looks like we made it through about midday yesterday on questions, so we'll hold those till next week, but we are just about out of time, and I want to give a few minutes for wrap up as well. So we will pull those questions in next week. In the meantime, don't ape into broken mechanics, but also really appreciate everybody, as always, that submits questions, listens to these AMAs, participates in these AMAs, and answers questions. But as Fox mentioned earlier, looking back, it's been a wild ride and feels like it's been a lot longer time than it has. But we would not be here without the community that we have. We are very, very, very lucky to have you guys. Y'all are fantastic. I said earlier we've had the best community since day one, and then I realized that we've actually had the best community since like day -16, I think, because we opened our Discord before we even launched, and y'all have been absolutely phenomenal since then. So really appreciate everybody. And with that, I will let everyone else give closing thoughts. In your closing thoughts, we need to determine if boorish is equivalent to bullish, because I feel like it is. And if so, we might need to use that as a sign off this week. But let's see, who hasn't talked in a minute? Magnus, final thoughts?
Yes, I am very stoked about the void hunts coming out soon. Caught me off guard there. Yeah, I'll just say there's a lot of work ahead, but yeah, just as always, very excited to work with this team, and kind of be pushing the boundaries of what's possible in Web3. Definitely jumped over a lot of hurdles, and this is just another one I'm really looking forward to tackling from a technical perspective.
Beetle dude.
Oh, hi. Yeah, I think this moment in time is what I've been excited about this for the last 2-ish years. I guess a little less for me, but yeah, when we really get to start putting some exciting gameplay in. We've seen a little bit with the combat testing grounds, but this is going to be our first foray into what the end goal is with contract based RPG gameplay essentially. So very stoked as well for this moment of time, and it's pretty cool that it aligns with our 2-year birthday as well. As Bolon said, this community is amazing. Y'all are keeping us going, and excited to push forward and to have awesome feedback and on both ends, awesome feedback of what we could do better and feedback of what we're doing great. So all that's appreciated. That all helps us to improve and move forward and be the best team we can be. And I guess just on the team note, I'll just say that I've never worked with such a talented group of people. I just want to call it out because I don't know that I say it a lot, at least in the AMAs. But just the people that we're working with every day are just amazing, and they do great work, and they're all committed and passionate. And so it's just awesome to have that internal community as well of just passionate people to work with. So big props across the board. Everyone's amazing, and you made this last 2 years awesome. So thank you.
Got to be careful with the praise so our collective head doesn't get too big. I understand.
That's true. Y'all suck. My bad.
There you go. Balance it out. Sunbore. Any final thoughts?
Oh man, I am super boorish on this year, on the gameplay, bullish on the future, and Beetle said it really well. Like, just proud to be a part of this team. Just really great people, and people that care, and people who are dedicated, and that have a clear vision. And it just feels like the longer we do this, the clearer that gets, which just is exciting. I'm excited to hit birthday 3, 4, 5, and we're 15% in. What's it going to feel like when we're 50 in? So yeah, super bullish. Let's go.
Appreciate it. Hubert.
So yeah, I think boars are more like bulls than they are like bears. So I will also say I'm very boorish and for the future. It's taken a lot to get to where we are, and we've had a lot of things that we've had to do that have kind of distracted from getting gameplay all the way out. But it also is very hard to make a game. I don't know if you guys have tried it before, but there's, especially when you're trying to make something that's like an RPG and you're building it while you're also like deploying it for people to use in the real time. There's a lot of unique challenges that we're facing all the time with this being on the blockchain, with this being released, with in piecemeal, and us having to kind of predict how everything's going to work in the future, as based on how we design the features we have right now. There's a lot of planning involved, and a lot of thought, and a lot of back and forth, and it's just a whole lot of work. And I appreciate Beatle's comments. I agree with him. I think it's been very exciting to work with this team. It's people are always surprising me with how capable they are, and that we get so much done, and that so far I guess I haven't given the task that's been so hard that we haven't been able to get it done so far. So I guess I gotta start turning things up even worse. So thanks for giving me the go ahead for that, Beetle. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, just looking forward to getting the Void Hunts out. I'm really looking forward to seeing all of your guys' reaction to it, and I'll be lurking around on Discord and seeing how people are enjoying it. And yeah, we'll be working on the next features pretty soon here, as soon as we get the Void Hunt out. So, all right, yeah, that's all I got.
Thank you. And last but not least, I know we had you close us out last week as well, but as we surround our birthday with those 2 AMAs, it only feels right to finish with Frisky Fox.
Yeah, I was just thinking about boorish and bearish, and really E would just have to change to an O. And the E is already very close to an O. But boars are definitely more like bulls. I don't know if you guys have seen boars in person, but when I was a kid and I went hunting in Texas with my dad, man, those things scared the crap out of me. So, oh my goodness, the chat. I'll just end up with saying that I'm super boorish for the future.
Boorish.
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 See y'all next week.
Peace.